Hi everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. This is another video for the Team Tiny group that I'm in, and this is hashtag teamtinyallshookup, and it is a bunch of it's a collaboration of a bunch of channels. None of us are monetized, so you can just hop along and watch till your little heart's desire, and there's no commercials. All you have to do is put in the hashtag teamtinyallshookup in your search bar, and it'll pull up a bunch of videos and you can just watch and watch and watch. So here I'm showing you that I am kind of cheating for this challenge. I'm using a couple of kits from Queen & Company. Now, shaker cards are not my go-to. I don't really like making them. I know, gasp, right? Gasp. I know a lot of people really love making them, but in all honesty, they're just really thick and bulky, and I don't really like making thick and bulky cards. But I do have a couple of Queen & Company kits in my collection, and I thought that this would be really fitting for our current global situation, and I thought maybe this card would be kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a suitcase card, and like I said, this is a Queen & Company kit. I did use it for a special order that I had, so I had a little bit left over, and I'm using one of them here. And there I was showing you that even without a pokey tool, you can get that out of there. All you have to do is use a piece of tape and it'll pull right out. So I did leave a lot of my process in here because it was kind of a learning, it was learn as I go. What I wanted to do was to create a shaker inside a shaker, if that makes any sense at all. I wanted to have this cute little star kind of rattling around inside of a suitcase. I just, for some reason, thought that that would be super adorable. And I had both kits. I had a suitcase kit and I had a star kit, and I thought this was a great opportunity to use them together. Now, my original thought was just to build the suitcase shaker and then to build the star shaker, and that they would go together. But you'll see where that goes awry. This is the first thing I screwed up. I took the sticky thing off the border of the suitcase, and then I pushed out the inside because, you know, you don't want the inside in there. And then I was like, well, geez, this isn't going to shake anything because, well, there's no acetate. I mean, come on, shaker cards need acetate. And Queen & Company does provide the acetate that fits all of their little shaker bits. So I used that. And then I had to adhere this dark blue cardstock to the outside of my acetate. And then I was like, well, I'm going to use the score tape because at this point I'm kind of already overbuilding a shaker card. And it's just because I don't normally build them. They're kind of tedious, and I much prefer to color. And there's no coloring in this card. None. Not a drop, not a drip, not a spot, not even a pencil line in this card. I can't even believe it. That's probably why, I guess maybe, well, there's all sorts of reasons why that these are not my go-to. But anyway, we will digress. I digress, and we will just continue. So I took the backing off of that score tape, and I think that's like 1/8 inch score tape. It's really, really skinny. And then I put the blue shaker bit on there, and it's a suitcase. So I use Scotch repositionable tape in my craft room. A lot of people use the purple tape. I really like this repositionable Scotch tape. It's so thin. I think a lot of times people get that impression from the purple tape because it's kind of thick, and it's just something else to be between their die and the cutting plate. So this repositionable tape, I've never had it tear my paper, and I really like it. So here I pieced the suitcase back together with the globe. And then I applied a bunch more tape because I really wanted to hold it together well. And I'm glad I did because later you'll see that that comes in really handy. So here is my star kit here, and it has this little clear bag with all the little clear pieces in it, and I had to put a piece of washi tape on the bag so I could find it because it's all clear. It's a clear bag of clear things. You know, the struggle is real. I had eye surgery, and I swear I'm blind still. So I have to put like little reminders on things that are clear, like pieces of washi tape. Anyway, I found the right size shaker bit, and this star kit is an old one. And it, well, there's a plastic backer on one side and a paper backer on the other, and it lines up with the plastic backer side. So if you have one that has the paper and then the plastic, you take the plastic backer off, and that is where you put your acetate because sometimes they're different. This star is, I think, symmetrical, but anyway, then I added a little bit of liquid adhesive here, and then I put on the frame. And I know Queen & Company now has like shapes where you can cut out the backer, so that you don't have to fuss with it like I'm going to. But this is really old. I've had this one for a while. The more recent one is the suitcase one. I think I purchased that in like October, November. So, and then I was gonna stamp one of these sentiments because this is the sentiment stamp set that came with the star shaker bit thing. Star shaker card. Yeah, whatever. And the sentiments were just too big to stamp on the inside of there. So I was like, well, that's not going to work. And then I thought I would just see how this was going to work. And here's where I was like, I'm dumb. You see, the star shaker is the same depth as the suitcase shaker, except it's inside. So it seems deeper. So then I was like, well, I guess I will just have to cut the suitcase, frame out a few more times to add that little bit more depth so that that star shaker can shake around in there. So I did 3 times. I did it out of white and then yellow and then blue. And I was like, well, I'm going to trim off the inside bits. And then I thought, no, I won't because the star will only be able to shake around in the middle. So you see there I used that repositionable tape. So I was able to peel that frame with the actual globe part on right off, and everything stayed in place. So that works out really, really nice when I built this, which is another reason I really like that Scotch tape. It kind of has a similar tack as washi tape, except for it doesn't fold up and get all weird like washi tape kind of does. So then I layered this on here, and I thought, well, if I put these together, let's see if that's enough space for the thing to shake around, and it's not. I don't know what the difference is, but so I peeled my frame off again, and I was like, well, I am going to cut out a couple more frames. So then I pulled out some really thick brown cardstock from my stash. Hindsight, I should have done these all in white because the shaker on the side is white. I was struggling. I was struggling. I wanted to make this shaker. I had this idea, and well, anyway, this is how it all worked out. So it does shake around in there, and it only shakes around in the middle because now there's little like edges where it can't go anywhere else. But all of the other shaker bits that I'm going to put in there can shake around in the whole inside. So that was super. It was kind of neat. See there, I'm like, well, I should have done that all with white, but I had already glued it all down, and there's no going back now. So then I had to die cut the handle a few more times because, well, it also needed to be just as thick as this shaker insert thing that I built because, well, this goes underneath the shaker bit, and otherwise there was going to be this gap between the actual card base and my handle. So that needed to be fixed. So I die cut that a few times with the dark brown cardstock, and I was kind of checking there to see if it was thick enough, and I think 4 layers got it to be thick enough. So then I built my little shaker, and that little yellow piece fits right inside, but I needed something to like stick it to. So I use this piece of acetate. And one nice thing about the acetate is it will slip around on the inside a little bit better than cardstock. And I wanted to stamp on the star before I put everything together. And I chose Your on My Mind. And it's actually all on one line. So I just creatively stamped this. And I did use my Misty. And this is a really well-loved stamp set, you could tell. I mean, I like these little tiny, they just support a card, the main sentiment so well. So I just creatively stamped that on there, and then I adhered the star to my piece of acetate using some liquid adhesive, and then trimmed it kind of out roughly, okay? Very roughly. And I decided on this shaker, star shaker glitter mix for the inside of the shaker. It's something that my sister-in-law gave me a long time ago when she was cleaning out her stamp supplies. You know, everything could find a good home at my house. Well, this was one of those things. I don't know where it's from. Probably Dollar Tree, or I really don't know. Maybe Hobby Lobby. But it's got like yellow star confetti in it and yellow glitter, and I just thought it would be super fun inside this tiny little star. I should have probably added some additional little shaker bits in there, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was already so far into this, and I had already derailed my plan several times, but I really, really, really wanted this to work. Was that enough for Elise? So I pulled out a couple of different sequin mixes here. This one I just wanted the larger stars from. And then I was putting them on the mat, and I was like, well, duh, let's just put them inside the card. What am I doing? So then I put them all inside the card because, you know. And then I was like, why am I digging in this thing? I should just dump some out, put them on my mat, and then I will just put them in there. So that's what I was doing. In hindsight, I probably could have added like some of the brown ones and stuff like that, but I really just wanted the stars. I thought that would be super cool. And then this other mix here has these iridescent kind of raised stars. They're just really pretty. So I added a few of those, and then I added some of this star sequins from Ink Blot Shop. She sent those to me in an order, and I love them. And then I added more of the little yellow things, and then I got out these micro beads. I've had these so long, and I have so many of them, and they get everywhere when I use them. So I think I still have some on my desk, like floating around. Anyway, then I hoped, prayed, and crossed my fingers. And I put the shaker down on the little frame that I built, and I shaked it up, and it was so cool. Listen, it shakes so awesome. And then I needed an additional sentiment on here. Oh, first I built the little corners. It's like kind of adds those masculine corners. If I would have done brown, it would look like leather edges on a suitcase, which was probably a super expensive suitcase. But I thought, well, it finishes up the corners really nicely. Then I was like, man, I didn't really have to line those corners up very well because I could have just covered them with those little things. So then I pulled out a, oh, I think it's called Tag Builder. It's by MFT. And I cut out the tag and then the little like reinforcer bit, and it was a little too long. So I trimmed it off a little bit shorter so that my sentiment would fit, which came in the suitcase set from Queen and Company, and it says "Miss You Already." And there I was like, oh, I should have done it all in white because it looks weird. But you know, it is what it is. And then I dug through my ribbon stash and I found this like ribbon card with a bunch of different trims on them, maybe. It's from Michael's way back when. I've had them forever. And I tied a little bow with the blue and white twine, and then I adhered the little tag down with a little bit of liquid adhesive just so it wouldn't go anywhere. So hashtag teamtinyallshookup, and if you put that in your description bar, you will or your search bar, you will find all sorts of videos in this Team Tiny collaboration, and I would love it if you would like and subscribe and comment, and as always, give cards generously. Bye!